I think video 7 had skipped some code changes, so I'm just adding this little video here. As we saw in video 7, the goal of this is to write a simple test to test one method here called list from database. Because this method calls the database, it's a little more complicated. We don't want to actually make database calls because then you have to set up connection strings, authorization, this and that. And then the data integrity on the database is not reliable because people could be changing the database as you're trying to run your tests. So because of these reasons, it is advisable to decouple your database testing from your controller testing or any other code. So this is called as dependency injection, which is why we created another constructor. So this is the base constructor, this is the other constructor. Here we are injecting our dependency here. So we are creating a constructor that takes a parameter, which means you will be able to send in whatever you want instead of DB context, as long as you efficiently mark that object. So that's the intention. So let me just quickly go over and say what I want to do here. The goal is to use our own list instead of calling the database. So our list is a list of movies. That's all that is happening here. If you look into the list DB, all that happens is from the database we get a list of movies. As long as you give that, the rest of the code in your controller, if there is any, will also work. Okay. So that is our intention. So let's first create that list, the list that we are going to use. Okay, so let's just give the basic parameters. Oh, sorry. Okay, so this is our list. This is going to be our mark. Because it is going to act as the database, you have to make it as queryable. When you say queryable, what happens is all the methods that you can call on a database, you can call on this guy also. Okay, that makes it mark a database really in a perfect way. Okay, so this is step 1. Okay, step 2 is going to be to create the mark object. So instead of this database, instead of this DB context, so my movie store DB context, we are creating a mark. And you have to do for this guy also. This guy that is a property inside, this also you have to mark. So let's mark those. So these are the 2 marks. Now we have to connect them all. Anytime I come and say I want movies inside the DB context, instead I will return the mark set. You have to say mark set.object anytime you use the mark, because mark set points to mark DB set movie. Mark set object points to DB set movie. So we want DB set movie, so you have to do that. Okay. Even though this is step 4, I'm going to put it in front of step 3 here. Or you can change the order. Again, we are doing a setup here, which means you need a returns also. So we are saying this mark set is going to be an iQueryable that uses of the type movie. And what happens is I want to, I will show you what happens if we don't have this line here. Okay. See here, you're sending the mark context. So these are the steps, right? So this is still not done. I'll show you what happens if we do that. Sorry, mark context at object, always. This test will fail, and I will show you why. See, it says the member get enumerator has not been implemented on DB set. That's what it says. So what it means is there's a whole bunch of things that happens on DB set. Any method that belongs to DB set has to be marked. So that is what we were starting to do here. So anytime it throws an error, you can continue marking it that way. You don't have to know all the things that you have to mark. This is the method. Anytime it says, I don't know what this get enumerator is on this mark set, you will return, oh, don't worry about it. It will be whatever the mark returns for list. So that's why you have the iQueryable. Whatever operation you can do on the DB set, you can do on this guy. So you're saying, don't call this guy, call this guy. Okay, and you can keep like building it and it'll throw you other errors and you can just keep marking them. So as far as I know, I'll add a couple that I remember. There's a property called provider. And then I think there is one called element type. I think there's one more. Let's just build. It's really simple. When it throws an error, you can add it. Yeah, we seem okay. Anytime you want to like evaluate an expression, when you add more code, it probably will throw an error. So let's add expression here. Okay, so these are the 4 things we marked. So once we do this, we are passing the mark object effectively. The next, this is where we are actually calling, and then we have to like manipulate the results. So that instead of getting the result from the database, we are getting it from the list. Okay.